Mhm. Hello, 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 hello. No. I have a good treat for you guys today. I have the interview of Absolute Saint Clair with Don Lemon. With that being said, let's get it.
After that interview you did with him and that fell apart, they then needed to smear Don Lemon. He was reaching out to me and other influencers and providing us confidential information about your contract negotiations.
Are you serious?
I would hand up be on the stand for you.
I am shocked. I probably shouldn't be.
You cannot just punch the most powerful people in the world in the face and then, wonder why they're upset.
Do you fear for your life?
Yes.
That's a fucking cult.
You can't just change your mind once you're in that deep. You have to blow up your whole life.
Elon Musk, people are gonna go, like, what were you doing? Like, what were you thinking?
He seems rather confident that he had some sort of impact in the election.
You've really opened my eyes to a lot.
And if I'm lying, please sue me because I would love discovery.
Ashley Sinclair, boy, what a turn this is.
Is this our last episode before one of us ends up in jail for me?
Why, thank you. So I have to ask you, I have to ask you some tough questions.
Of course.
Why should we believe you? Because you were a MAGA influencer.
You don't have to. You don't have to believe me. You can, I think, trust is something that you built. And over time, I hope that people come to see that what I'm doing is genuine, and that MAGA has called me many things, and a liar is not one of them. So I'm not asking for anyone to believe or forgive me right away. I think that takes time.
Yeah. I'm going to play some clips of you, things you said before you became. All right. Let's listen.
Ashley Sinclair joins me now. Is this a trend among young women to celebrate not having a family?
It is. It's the Chelsea Handler culture of it all, where they just want to pursue pleasure and drinking all night, going to Beyonce concerts. The reality is you could send your son to school and come back with a daughter now. I feel like these men who then transition and start playing in women's sports are rather pathetic. And if they can make us believe that there is no gender, men can be women, men can give birth, men can have uteruses, what else won't we believe? It's all part of an inherent war on truth. They are showing porn in children's schools. This is actually what's happening. They are doing these perverted things. He doesn't quite understand the larger picture and, the Marxist roots of DEI and what's happening here and the deliberate exclusion, the reverse racism that's happening with DEI.
When you watch that, how do you feel?
There's a few feelings. Like, first of all, it's disgust and remorse and also like a sense of dissociation. Like, I feel like it's not me, even though I know it's me, but I feel remorse that that's out there for my kids to see, that they're going to see that I said things that were so harmful that I didn't consider how it would be perceived by other people who were impacted by those things, that I was speaking on things that I had no business speaking on.
Why'd you do it, though?
I think that's such a multifaceted question. Why did I get involved in this at 18? I think I was incredibly broken. I think hurt people. I think I really wanted some sense of belonging, and that's where I found myself at that age, was with MAGA. There was a lot of reasons I did it, and then once you get to a certain point where you're in deep, and even if you want to change your mind, you can't just change your mind once you're in that deep. You have to blow up your whole life because it's where your finances are, your social community. It's very much a cult in the way that the entire architecture of it, you are enwrapped in this. And they don't let you leave gracefully. They don't let you leave kindly.
This is a cult.
Yeah. They're not kind people. I always say, there's so many people who are like, why didn't you leave sooner? Well, they're simultaneously saying that these people are violent tyrants who shoot people in the streets and arrest their enemies. That's exactly part of the reason why I didn't leave sooner, there's this aspect of fear that overtakes you because they are scary individuals.
Do you fear for your life? Have you?
Yes. Right now, yes.
Go on.
I have, there's been people who are watching my family, who there's the same escalades outside following my family, following the people connected with my family, showing up to, children's baseball games,
I'll be right back,
coming up to
y'all.
my
I
children's
gotta
school,
be
outside
right
of my
back.
home.
Well, in a way I can relate to this in ways that I cannot discuss, right? Because you know what's happening. But I understand. I actually believe you on that. And it's a frightening place to be in.
Mm-hmm.
That you have members, you have people who are in such high positions and even possibly in the government.
There is an exorbitant amount of resources being poured into this campaign and this harassment and this intimidation.
Yeah. And that's what it is. Why, though?
That's a good question for them.
Why do you think?
I think people speaking is a threat. It's a threat to them. What you did was a threat. What I'm doing is a threat. When people come in and they shatter this illusion, this facade that they've built, that is threatening to them.
Yes.
You cannot just punch the most powerful people in the world in the face and then, wonder why they're upset and then using their resources against you.
Yeah. So this was a way, people would call it...
Tap screen, tap screen, tap screen.
For you to be a MAGA person, this is a come up, right? It's the shortest line to the front for someone like you, for someone so young, right? That it was a grift.
What are the 3 FDA?
That it was a grift. What do you say to that?
Sort of. It's not really a grift when there's, you believe that a lot of the things that you're saying. And what is a grift? What would your definition of a grift be?
Of someone who's just who doesn't believe in what they're saying, but they're using it for either political or professional or economic expedience.
I think in some ways, sure. Because there were moments that I felt incredibly disconnected from MAGA and from the movement, but I had a baby I had to take care of. I had, a roof I needed to put over my head and diapers I had to buy, which I always say is not an excuse for being involved in it, but rather trying to give people a reason why it's difficult for some people to leave. Because doing the right thing at that time meant that I couldn't feed my son. So
when I asked you, people say why, and then they'll wonder if this is a grift, if this is a sort
Did you pay me to be here?
No, I don't pay for interviews.
No,
Yeah.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
People don't pay for interviews. And I'm on my way. Last semester I did 22 credits. I'm in 3 different courts and I did 22 credits, crushed it, and now I'm on my way to law school. And that's what I want to do. And I'm telling my story in the process and hoping that I can help people and speak to some of the people who are still in that. But this is not a grift.
I'm sorry.
This would be an incredible grift for me to put my life on the line to talk about these things. I've sacrificed far more than I can ever make from this. We are in danger speaking out. I turned down $40 million. I feel like I am the only bitch in the world who can turn down $40 million and still be called a grifter or a gold digger. How much money do they want me to turn down? How many sacrifices do they want me to make before it's not called a grift?
I'm sorry goes a long way. Do you feel like you said I'm sorry properly and enough?
I've said it properly. I don't think I'll ever be able to say it enough, but I do want to transition from, saying sorry all the time to now trying to make amends. So I put a call out on my TikTok today for brands who want to collaborate, and the profits go to something like the Trevor Project or other groups that my rhetoric contributed harm to. Because I can say sorry all day and night, but I'd like to be able to use my platform to make financial amends for the harm that I contributed to. And I also, I think there's also this phenomenon of I'm, for many people, going to be the most accessible figure from MAGA that they're ever going to come in contact with. And so a lot of that frustration is probably going to be taken out on me, and that's okay. If that's what they need me to be, that's okay, and I'm just accepting of however people want to.
How do you look? You're not anti-LGBTQ.
No.
You've had some really you've said some horrible things and feelings about transgender people. Does that just change overnight, or did you believe that stuff? Like, where does that come from?
I think it's framed from, my particular issue that I spoke a lot about was in regard to trans youth, and it's framed in this way that, oh, you're protecting children, you're protecting women and children. And then the more I interacted with actual trans people or actual people who, had trans children, it changes. I also worked a lot with Libs at TikTok, Haya Rashek, and I would see her motivation towards virality and engagement and the way that she was treating some of these individuals. And I'm like begging her not to dox children. And it just caused me to reconsider, and I hadn't been exposed to a lot of that, and I am deeply regretful for the harm that I contributed to in that regard, and I'm trying to do the best I can to understand that now and take back what I can. I know I'll never be able to put the pieces all back together, but trying to understand what I didn't want to.
Where did the epiphany come from? Did it happen all of a sudden? Because things are like, this slow, this is how things usually happen.
Yeah.
The slow drip, and then all of a sudden.
That's how it was.
Okay,
It was like cumulatively and then all at once, because there were so many moments that I saw things, or I didn't have the courage, or I'd have almost these handlers within MAGA who would come to me when I would step out of line a little bit and be like, you sound like CNN right now, don't. They would come to me, very large figures in the MAGA movement, and say, change your opinion on this, anything from the trans issue to George Floyd to whatever it was, and I still have those texts.
That's a fucking cult.
Mm-hmm.
That's mind control.
And they would right away, they'd be like, did you look at the autopsy report for George Floyd? And they would, because for instance, when the George Floyd situation happened, I came out against that. I was like, this is awful. This is horrible. This is police brutality. And right away, a very high up MAGA figure comes. He's like, read the autopsy report. You sound like CNN. What are you doing? And so there were these moments that I would think for myself, and then I'd be conditioned not to. And then eventually, once, I'm involved with Elon, I'm doing all this, and I get a $40 million NDA in front of me over disappearing signal messages. That moment, you're like,
everything feels better when it's clean and protected.
That moment, you're like, I need to make a choice. This is a very consequential choice now. This is playtime is over. You're no longer this little MAGA influencer tweeting things and being a mean girl online. You actually have to make a decision involving whether or not you're going to have integrity.
Support comes from Byron Publishing and Bullies, Patriots, and Slaves by George Koch. Now, this book asks a very simple question. Why do societies keep repeating the same mistakes? Through history, storytelling, and research, George Koch looks at how power works, who benefits from it, and why ordinary people often end up paying the price. What I like about this book is that it takes big ideas and it makes them accessible. You don't need a PhD to understand it. You just need curiosity. Whether you're interested in politics, maybe it's economics, history, or simply understanding how the world works, you'll find something here worth thinking about. And at the center of it is a simple idea. Treat people the way you want to be treated. That sounds easy, right? Well, history definitely says otherwise. Get your copy today at bps.online or text BULLY to 511-511. That's BULLY to 511-511. Text fees may apply. Support comes from Lean. Everybody's talking about weight loss injections these days because the results can be dramatic, but not everybody wants weekly injections or some of the side effects that come with them. That's why doctors created Lean. Lean is a weight loss supplement. It's made with studied ingredients that may help support healthy blood sugar levels, reduce cravings, and help your body convert fat into energy. Now listen, this isn't for anybody who's trying to, lose 2 or 3 pounds before a beach trip. The team at Brickhouse Nutrition created Lean for people with 10 pounds or more, trying to lose that they'd like to lose, and who are serious about improving their
to be listening to and making those amends as well. And I just want you to know that I am really sorry. Like, I was thinking for myself, and I did the wrong thing and listened to people that I shouldn't have.
I'll ask you one more time. Why should we believe you? Why should black people believe you? Why should trans people believe you? Why should members of the LGBT?
They don't have to. They should wait and see what I do. I don't think you should believe anybody just because they say it. I think you should see what they do. I'd like to talk to the people that I harmed and hurt and use whatever voice I have to undo that harm.
You said it was cumulative, and drip, 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 and then boom. What was that boom? What was the straw that broke the camel's back? Do you remember?
It was the NDA.
And the NDA came from?
Really?
From Elon Musk.
Uh-huh.
Now, why is Elon Musk presenting you with a $40 million NDA?
That is a
Really?
great question for him, though I don't think he'll be speaking to you anymore.
So you have no idea why? You don't just get offered a $40 million NDA for nothing.
It's a great question. I'm not going to hypothesize as to why they offered it to me.
Was it a shock?
Sort of. Yeah, it was a shock, especially the way in which it was presented over disappearing signal messages from his thug-ass money manager. But
Take me through it. You were sitting around one day drinking coffee and a $40 million NDA pops up on your signal? Like what?
yeah. Well, so originally Elon had
Tap
sent
screen,
a
tap screen,
message
tap screen, tap
to
screen, please.
me and Jared
Please tap
that
screen.
said, wire Ashley
Please,
15
please,
million
please tap
for a
screen.
home and reserve capital, and like that was it.
Jared.
Urshel, his money manager. And then a few days later, Jared has this 2-hour-long phone call with me, which he's basically like, there's going to have to be some sort of NDA, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to sign an NDA, but I'm more than happy to review it. And then they sent it, and it had $15 million and $100,000 a month for 21 years. And I was never to disparage Elon. I was never to speak of anything, including about his employees, his affiliates, nothing, into eternity. And I replied to Jared and said, I cannot in good conscience sign this. Because it wasn't what was right for my children, for myself, for making the moral decision. I had also said to him, I said, I would rather go to a studio apartment with both my children than sign this.
His children. Your children who are his children as well.
One of them, yes.
One of them. Elon Musk, people are going to go, like,
Why?
What were you doing? Like, what were you thinking? Were you in love?
I cared for him, and I think like a lot of people, I wanted to believe in him. Like I did. I wanted that version that he presents to be true. I wanted this larger-than-life figure who's doing something higher for humanity. I wanted that to be true.
And?
It wasn't.
What is it? What was it?
I think he is on the most diabolical pursuit of power and control and self-interest.
Right.
And he does not care who he harms in the process.
Including you and his children, or his child?
Including the entire world. Including anyone. There's no hierarchy. Jared, his money manager, had described it to me as a meritocracy.
Meaning?
Whatever you do for Elon, that's your positioning within his life. It's a meritocracy.
What, meaning you have to earn it?
Yes.
Earn what? His attention, his time?
I guess so.
Presence?
I guess so.
His money?
Maybe some nice tweets.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
How'd you guys meet?
He slid into my DMs on Twitter.
How'd you end up with a kid?
So we met originally when we did an interview with the Babylon Bee, and then we just continued a relationship from there, and then almost a year later, we decided to have a child.
No prenup.
Nope.
No.
What's
anything?
really interesting too is, so we had mutual friends who had also been to his house, and they all
Okay.
like described to me when they went into his house, they had to sign an NDA. I never did.
You think he loved you?
I don't know. That's a question for him.
Do you care?
Do I care?
Yeah.
No.
The interesting thing to me is when I thought about, I really considered, should I interview you or not? Seriously, what is this going to look like? So around the time that you were having your relationship with him and the child is when it's around the same time that I had my interaction with Elon Musk.
Right now, you're being tested, not by your team, but by attackers using AI. They're not guessing. They're finding the gaps. Weak passwords, unpatched systems, human error. And they only need one way in. The reason attackers keep winning is simple. You don't know where you're exposed, and you're not testing for it. So they find the gaps and exploit.
It's around the same time that I had my interaction with Elon Musk.
I was well aware of that because the executives at X, Joe Enaruk, whatever his last name is, he was reaching out to me and other influencers
I'll be right
and
back,
providing
y'all.
us confidential information
Be
about
back in
your
a
contract
second.
negotiations with X, with Twitter, because he wanted us to disseminate this about and smear you.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Leaking.
Yes, he was leaking the information. He's like, Don wants a podcast in space. I'm like, well, fair. I mean, who wouldn't? The guy has
I mean, the guy does own
doing
rockets.
a deal with a guy with rockets. Of course, you would ask for the first podcast in space. They gave it to fucking Katy Perry. Katy Perry got it before you.
I know.
So yeah, they were leaking this, but it also shows the ways in which him and his agents, his operators, will just, as soon as there's a flip, that he just goes and then he operationalizes his platforms and his agents and these influencers to do his dirty work.
I am shocked. I probably shouldn't be, but are you telling me the truth? He was
Yes.
leaking confidential
Yes.
information about my
Yes.
negotiations. And
Yes.
What about the legal
And if
process?
I'm lying, please sue me because I would love discovery.
And what about
What are they going to do? Sue me again? I mean, 3 different coins.
what about all the litigation around me? Do you think they're leaking, or do you know if they're leaking information?
I have no idea because we started litigation around the same time.
Wow.
Mhm.
What do you think? Why?
I would hand up, be on the stand for you. That happened. I had those communications with Joe.
Do you think they were trying to smear me? What do you think it was? I don't want to.
Yes, they were trying to smear you. After that interview you did with him and that fell apart, they then needed to smear Don Lemon. And they operationalized a platform that is over-indexed for hostility against Elon's enemies and had people disseminate this information. Because they needed it to be anything other than that he didn't like your interview.
And the truth is, or was,
Well, that would be me pontificating, but I think he didn't like your interview.
why not? Why do you believe that?
What became really clear knowing him, and at first, like, I felt bad. There was one moment that we were at this party, and there was a bunch of people, everyone's laughing, having a good time, and the moment Elon walks into the room, like, the whole vibe shifts. It's like now the Elon show. And he's making jokes that aren't all that funny, which, you know, he can be funny at times, but they weren't all that funny, and everyone's, like, belly laughing. And I remember in that moment, I felt bad for him. I'm like, wow, like, that must suck to just have these people who just laugh and yes man you. And then I came to realize that that was by design. Like, he wants these yes men. He doesn't want anyone pushing back against him, because the moment you tell that man no, it's as if you never told him yes. And so I think that was his issue with your questioning, was that they were tough.
I didn't think it was anything out
It
of.
wasn't unfair. I don't think what you said to me is unfair. You're telling me I did harm to the trans and black communities. Yes, and I'm sorry. Also, I didn't mean to laugh when you said, are you sorry to black people? I was laughing because there are so many black creators on TikTok who are like, do we trust Ashley? I'm just looking at her. I'm watching. I won't like, but I'm watching her. So it wasn't that I didn't take it seriously. I was just, but yeah, he really does not like any pushback, and he silences dissent.
I'm flabbergasted that he discussed that and his folks discussed that with you, and that you think it was a smear campaign, and it was about more than.
Why else what else could it be? Leaking confidential contract negotiations. That's not in good faith. There's no good faith way to leak contract negotiations, especially someone who's so caught up in confidentiality.
Do you think he has issues with certain people? I mean, trans people, black people?
That has been something that I've wrestled with because I feel like I have to call it out, but at the same time, like I have a child with this individual, but it became clear to me that he did have a fixation that was more motivated by race and gender than I wanted to realize earlier on.
Do you think he's racist?
Yes.
Of course he wants racist.
Yes.
Do you think he is homophobic?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. He would constantly, too, he was like obsessed with talking about Sam Altman. I mean, we would be in bed, like he's pillow talking, saying, Sam just runs around San Francisco having gay orgies. Like the amount of times he was talking about Sam Altman's sex life was insane.
Why is he so interested in Sam Altman's sex life?
Because it's one of his enemies.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Summer is supposed to be relaxing, but let's be honest. Between travel, family, work, and trying to enjoy every sunny day, it can also be exhausting. For me, summer is usually a little bit of both. I love getting out, seeing friends, traveling when I can, but sometimes it feels like you're trying to fit an entire year's worth of living into just a few short months. That's why therapy can be so valuable. Therapy can help you understand what you need, set healthier boundaries, and create a version of summer that actually feels good instead of overwhelming. And that's where BetterHelp comes in. They match you. Twitter,
Nature's Miracle. Permanently eliminate top odors and stains at the source.
okay, we'll see. I'm like the black folks on Twitter. I'm watching you to see, because the same thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene and whatever. It's like, I believe people when their actions meet their words, and I believe you if you are, especially in this political environment, if you're on the right side, right? With Marjorie Taylor
Not
Greene.
the right side.
Well, the
I'm
left.
not on the right
I should say on the left side, because I'm saying people who believe in reality, right? Because I'm not political. I know people don't believe that. But if she's going to vote for the right candidate, even if that candidate is a Democrat, right? And just recently when she talked about the vaccines, and I was like, see, that's who she really is. So I'll see.
Well, and for the first time in my life, like I got involved in this so young, I didn't have a chance to form my identity or be honest. Like I was so scared to be myself, and whenever I did videos or I did an interview, or I would be so nervous and I'd be going over my talking points, and for the first time in my life, I feel like I could just talk and live and just be myself, and so that's been refreshing. But for people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think the litmus test is, are you still keeping secrets for these people?
Yes.
Because, okay, you can make amends. She could do a $50,000 donation to whatever organization tomorrow, but she's still keeping secrets for MAGA, for people in Congress. Spill it all. You need to make a material sacrifice and spill everything you know about even the people that are your friends, because they are a part of such great harm. And so for me, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm like, here's everything I know. I don't want to keep it anymore. I'm not keeping secrets for these people.
What do you think her motivation is for this pivot?
I'm not sure. I think she's probably angry, but I also like to steer away from that because so often, like with women, it's like, oh, a woman scorned. Okay, well, are they scorned with cause? Okay, like
True.
I'm scorned with cause.
I do know that the rules are different for women. They're different for members of the LGBTQ community.
And they didn't say that about Joe Kent when he came out. They're not calling him a woman scorned. So I think it's okay to be motivated by hurt and anger. I think that's okay. Those are just as valid human emotions as any other human emotion. And so I think she's going through her own transformation, but I think people need to say, okay, what else do you know? Tell us everything. You were there for so long.
Just to put a pin in it on this whole Elon Musk thing. This may be, I hope this doesn't offend you. You guys had kids the old-fashioned way?
Everyone likes to ask this, but yes.
Okay. I'm just wondering if it's because, you know...
Weird question.
She laid down...
Weird question.
I'm not judging them, but that's what the talk is.
He was quite attractive in his younger years. If you look at old photos of him, he's attractive. He's very tall.
Were you enamored by the money or of who he was, but mostly the money?
No, not mostly the money. I think I've met many rich men in my life, okay? I was a young co at Mar-a-Lago. It's not the first time I was around a wealthy man. I think there's this aspect that he was larger than life and doing something like so big. And of course, like the money aspect and being on the jet is like part of what is intoxicating. But it was also that I felt like he was doing something so much bigger than himself. And, you know, we're going to expand consciousness and I'm just so altruistic. And I think that was more intoxicating than just the money. It's not like he was buying me Birkins or showering me in money.
But would he have if you had wanted that?
I didn't inquire.
Did you want that?
No.
You don't need a Birkin bag.
No, I don't need a Birkin.
You have said, and others have as well, have alleged that there was something shady that went on during the election. That perhaps Elon Musk had some effect on the outcome of the 2024 election. I have seen no evidence of that. Do you possibly have evidence of that? Why are you alleging that? And can I see the text?
You can see the text. I'm only telling people what Elon told me. Whether, you know, he's being a schizophrenic, I don't know, but this is what he said. And he seems rather confident that he had some sort of impact in the election. I always have to search lasers.
As you're looking for that,
I found it.
You found it,
So
okay.
he goes, it's October, just don't read my pick-me-isms.
I'm not good at that.
October 5th, 2024, and he says...
October 5, 2024, the one with the heart on it.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's saying, I'm feeling more optimistic after tonight.
I'm gonna verify this, okay? Because I'm gonna look on my phone. I don't know if we have the same cell phone
Yes.
number for him. I'm gonna see,
Yes.
and you can. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what I have. Let's see. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Am I verifying? Look at mobile on mine and yours. Okay, so this looks legit. You have not showed these to you didn't put them on camera, right?
No.
Wouldn't do that. Okay, let's see. Can I read them?
Yes.
I'm feeling more optimistic after tonight. And then you hearted it, right? And tomorrow we unleash the anomaly in the matrix. And then you did 2 exclamation points. And then, I don't know what that, and then you said who, and then he said haha.
Yeah.
Okay. This is not something on the chessboard, so they will be quite surprised. And then you hearted that. And this is on October 5th of 2024. And he said, lasers from space. And then you said, haha, finally a focus on the Jewish vote. You meant Jewish space lasers?
Yeah, I was making a Marjorie Taylor Greene joke.
I have over 10,000 lasers in space right now, he said to you.
Damn, that's hot.
So he doubles down and he quantifies.
Yeah. If your space lasers seriously end up being the anomaly in the
Okay.
Matrix,
That one's so
let me
great.
see.
Come
Matrix
on.
that takes back America, it will be
It's so cringe. I can't.
Do you mind if I read it?
Yes, I do. I'm so embarrassed with myself. I was like so pick me.
Let me read it.
This one battery helped build all this.
And clean all this. Enjoy all this.
Yes, I do. I'm so embarrassed with myself. I was like so pick me.
Let me read it. Okay. If your space lasers seriously end up being the anomaly in the matrix that takes back America, I will be convinced that God is maximizing the simulation to be the most badass sci-fi drama / comedy ever written. I would ask more questions, but will keep myself from getting deposed. Proud of you. And then he said, wise, with a smiley face.
And a hundo emoji.
And a 100, yeah. And a
Okay,
100.
all right. We're the humiliation ritual. It's done.
What do you think? What did he mean by lasers? What do you think?
That's a great question.
What do you think that round of texts mean?
It's a great question for him in front of Congress, but I also know that combined with my conversations with his employees, the data he sent me from America PAC before the election, the real-time Delta vote metrics he had, I'm unaware of what inputs create those outputs that are so real-time. Him telling me that he knew hours ago, him leaving Mar-a-Lago hours early. He told me over text, I knew hours ago. He said over text, my team has the best real-time data. Well, how do you have it?
Did you see the clip from Joe Rogan where he talks about he sees Elon at a party?
It's been brought to my attention.
Here it is.
Apparently, Elon created an app, and he knew who won 4 hours before the results. So as the results were coming in, 4 hours before they called it, Dana White told me Elon was like, I'm leaving Tova. He just fucking somehow or another.
I mean, because I can
It's like
odd and evaporate.
I don't know what he's getting, where he's pulling his data from, but he had like the most accurate data in terms of the rural states hadn't put their results in yet, but yet Trump was ahead in these states. Kamala's never going to win those states, so tabulated that and like, put it all together. I don't know how he did it.
I was there. I was there. I watched him leave, and then he texted me and said, I knew hours ago. My team has the best real-time data.
From?
That's a great question.
Do you think that he did something?
What I know is that afterwards, he said that Trump wouldn't have won without him. And he had very precise numbers of what the outcome of the House would have been had he not intervened.
Right.
What do you mean by intervened?
Had he not been involved, that Trump wouldn't have won without him.
Yeah, most likely.
I think there should be questions when someone has so much data and such incredible technology. Why are we not asking what the fuck they're doing with it? Are you using it for elections? Like, we don't have jurisdiction over space data or space technology. That's ridiculous.
You know it's all coming back to me now because during my interview with him, I asked him about, are you going to donate to a political candidate? Are you going to support anyone in the election? How much money, And he said, not at this point.
He was lying. He was lying because at that point he was already planning to support Trump. And I spoke about this because he comes out during the Butler assassination attempt and he tells the world, this is the moment that I'm going to support Trump. I have no choice. But that wasn't true because he had told me a long time before that he was going to support Trump. He had texted me saying, I can't be president, but I can help Trump win and I will. And he said he has, half a dozen initiatives of significance into him that was motivating him.
Yeah, what were the motivating factors for him to help?
In his words, the half a dozen initiatives of significance, the investigations into him. Those were his words.
The investigations
Typical.
into Elon Musk.
That I still have.
Typical.
You have a text message with
I
it?
do.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. We're live weekdays at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern with new content at 2 p.m. Eastern, sometimes at 8 p.m. So follow the Don Lemon Show wherever you are: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, what did it say? Say part 2 tomorrow?
Because he had told me a long
Saying
time
part
before
two?
that he was going to support Trump. He had texted me saying, I can't be president, but I can help Trump win, and I will. And he said he has, half a dozen initiatives of significance into him that was motivating him.
Yeah, what were the motivating factors for him to help?
In his words, the half a dozen initiatives of significance, the investigations into him, those were his words.
The investigations into Elon Musk.
That I still have.
You have a text message, man?
I do.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, 5
Thanks for
p.m.
watching,
East.
everybody. I appreciate.
Okay, so I won't come back in 45 minutes with part 2 of this. Enjoy your afternoon. See y'all later. Peace.